Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. It's Tinfoil Tiara Tuesday. So I'm sorry, I'm checking it out. I'm checking out a thing here. Oh, never mind. Anyway, today we're gonna talk about The Handmaid's Tale, season 6, episode 7, Shattered. So this episode, I finally got like the beginnings of my payoff, but I do not trust it. I have had the rug pulled out from under me before. We still have 3 episodes after this one. So I know they're going to pull the rug out from under us again. I'm not trusting it. And I think it has something to do with the aunt. But anyway, we start with June in the closet with Nick as his betrayal sinks in. This is interspersed with scenes of the women at Jezebel's being executed in a truly triggering fashion. Um, and the eyes are taking Janine out as her friends are mowed down by machine guns. Nick takes June back to Mayday and back to face Mayday, and she has to, and back to Luke and Moira, and she has to face the music with Mayday, who the leader of Mayday just didn't even looking at her, um, and she has to face Luke, and it really sinks in with her. I think at this point that this has been torture for Luke. And Luke says, "Don't be in love with the fucking Nazi." And I love it. Facts, right? Right? Nick continues to betray those closest to him. Rita goes to him to be sure he's still going to help her get her family out. And he tells her that they were never really friends. He was afraid of her. She was afraid of him. And she should never trusted him. And he will not help her get her family out. Up to this point, I feel like Rita has not actively been trying to destroy Gilead. She just really wants to get her family out. And I feel like this was kind of a turning point for her too. Also, Lydia, this episode too. I feel like it's the beginnings of something. Serena starts planning an over the top wedding, because the other more old school wives are poo pooing New Bethlehem, basically. Um, and these wives like being at the top of the food chain. They know how good they've got it. They know that for being a woman, they've got it as good as you can in Gilead. Um, and they know what changes would mean for them. And Serena has seen a small part of what life is like for a handmaid when she was in Canada, and feels, I think, a little bit differently. And is always going to tell herself and everyone that her motives were pure, but everyone saw season 1, right? Like, we all saw that shit, right? Anyway, like I said, that doesn't change who Serena is at her core. Her pride is wounded, right? She feels dismissed by the other wives. And these other wives, like especially Lawrence's wife, this bitch would have made Serena a fucking handmaid. So I don't even know, right? So when she goes home to Josh Charles and she prods him into putting on like a huge production for their wedding, he's also ready and willing to do that because he knows it's going to be good for his career, yada, yada, yada. Also, moving the wedding to Boston for May Day is better as far as them having bigger targets to hit. Also, I think it's easier for them to get into Boston, I think, from where they're at. I'm not sure though about that one. Anyway, Lydia finds out that Janine is still alive. But and Lydia doesn't know that Belle is a bad guy, but she is now a handmaid to that allegedly JD Vance looking motherfucker. Oh, I hate that guy. I can't wait for them to torture him to death. Anyway, June talks to Moira about Nick, and Moira is a real homie about this. She tells June that if a commander had saved her, she would have fallen in love with him too. Luke and June have a heart to heart. They're not quite ready to give up on each other, but they're not quite sure what to do. They're for sure not ready to give up on Hannah. And Luke wants blood. Lydia takes Janine's things to Belle's house, JD Vance, allegedly. And as she's leaving, she sees Janine being abused by the wife through the window. So this is Lydia's start is kind of in the midst of all of her chickens coming home to roost. Lawrence shows up where they are with Mayday to fight with Mayday and save his own skin, only to find June retreating. Bradley Whitford gives June his best manipulative speech, being sure to dig at her about Serena's getting everything she fucking wanted. She got the baby. She gonna be a fancy commander's wife. She can kind of come and go as she pleases. He tells her that all the handmaids are going to be at this fucking travesty of a wedding, right? Except for Janine. And this is where June finds out that Janine is still alive. And decides, when she finds that out, she decides she's going to fight. And she comes up with a plan to use the handmaids as an army. Plus they have DeJulio, or whatever the fuck the guy that's with the US government, what's left of it, DeJulio, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, who has a boner for Serena. Anyway, he can have the military come in or what the fuck ever. They can use the bombs they've already planted. And this is the beginning of the payoff, right? This is why I fucking love the Oceans movies. It's when they show me how they did it, right? This is what I'm waiting for. So if I get fucked out of this, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm just telling y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Lawrence smuggles Moira and June back into Gilead, into the Red Center, where he sends Lydia to DC, I think to get her out of the way. But I really feel like kind of at this point, Lydia might be swayed to fight with them a little bit more. But we'll see. Moira and June are discovered by this other aunt. And surprise, she's Mayday. Cool. I don't trust this shit. Is this the rug you're gonna pull? I don't trust this bitch. I don't trust her. We'll see. So she hides June and Moira deep in the Red Center, and June and Moira are terrified, hiding in the Red Center, waiting for the morning. June says a prayer and ends it with something like, "And may every one of those motherfuckers die." And then Barracuda plays. Fuck yeah. And that's the end. Now we gotta wait till next week. Like I said, I think we got 3 episodes. So join me later this week. I'm gonna try and do another pit episode. Who knows? Who knows what else I'll get up to? But y'all have a great time. Take care of y'all. Bye.